Hey guys, Luke, and I know today's video is going to be a little bit of a controversial one, but I feel like I should just make my opinion known and let's see if you guys agree with me. I also want to say that these are both incredible games and I love them to death, but I just absolutely adore Black Ops 2 above any other Call of Duty Zombies game. So today what I want to talk about is why I think BO2 Zombies is better than Black Ops 3 Zombies. And one last thing before we do get into it, I want to say that I'm going to be focusing on 4 main topics of discussion for this video, that being gameplay, replayability, map selection, and nostalgia in that order. So from a gameplay perspective, I adore Black Ops 2 like absolutely no other game. The map designs for me were for the most part simple enough to figure out to where it didn't take a genius level intellect to do something as simple as, let's say, turning the power on. Even for maps like Origins that didn't have a traditional power switch, it was crafted well enough and it was intuitive enough that almost anyone could figure it out. Well, on Black Ops 3, there wasn't a single map with an easy power switch. I'm looking at you, Shadows of Evil, specifically. Along with that, getting set up for the game, as in getting perks, guns, and equipment, was still relatively simple for most of the maps. Granted, the staffs were hard to get, but the Paralyzer, Blundergat, and the Ray Gun Mark II were all box weapons. And while in Black Ops 3, there were only 2 wonder weapons in the box, and that doesn't even get me started on how much of a pain in the ass it is to get the KT-4 on Zetsubo no Shima. I was also a bigger fan of the way that the zombies moved in Black Ops 2. They still had the old school style of zombies mechanics where they can all be trained up into a tiny circle. While in Black Ops 3 they would just bounce off of each other, they would cut off your train, and overall it's just something that I personally preferred in Black Ops 2 and the older games. On top of that, I prefer the map layouts. They just flow better and there's more open space where you can actually train around. I feel like on Black Ops 3 sometimes there's only maybe one viable area to hoard up and get to a high round, while on most BO2 maps there were 3 or maybe even more on basically every single map, which made for a very diverse gameplay experience, which leads me into replayability. And right now I'll be 100% honest with you guys, I still go back and play Black Ops 2 more than I play Black Ops 3. The reason for that being that all of the maps on BO2 are replayable as hell. Even Transit, as bad as it is, can be a fun time here and there if you aren't taking it too seriously. This is probably my hardcore fanboyism and nostalgia talking, but Black Ops 3 had only one replayable map for me, that being Revelations, and when I do play it, it's mostly first rooms and using super high power gobble gums to make it as easy as I can on myself. And part of the magic of a game like Black Ops 2 was the ability to give you a challenge and not just hand everything to you, while leaving a little bit of a door open to make it slightly easier with things such as the banking system and the weapon fridge. On the other side of the coin, we have the Gobble Gum System in Black Ops 3, which in my opinion made the game way too easy. Yes, I know that you can just not use them, but if the ability is there to give you everything that you want in a game just by hitting one button on your D-pad, most of us are going to take that option, especially if you don't have a ton of time on your hands to play maps with long setups, which most of Black Ops 3's maps have. Speaking of that, there are no quick setups unless you use Gobble Gums, and even then they still take 15 to 20 minutes a piece and have multiple quests to actually accomplish them. For my money, sometimes the simplest way to do something is best, and it's part of why I love Black Ops 2. It is improved upon from the previous formulas, it kept it simple, adding new twists to it, but didn't stray too far like Black Ops 3 did at a few points. And now moving on to map selection real quick, I'll just briefly touch on this one, but as a whole, Black Ops 2 just had better maps than BO3 did, I'll be quite honest with you. Buried Mob of the Dead and Origins are hands down better than Durazendrock, Gorok, Krovi, and Shadows of Evil. That's just my opinion, obviously, but I just prefer the iconic maps of BO2 over Black Ops 3's best offering. Now the last thing that I want to touch on is nostalgia. And nostalgia is a very powerful piece of the Zombies community, with us constantly crying out for Treyarch to remaster different maps like Mob of the Dead, which hopefully it'll come back in Black Ops 4, but anyway, it's powerful stuff, man. We all have fond memories of our first time playing zombies, or getting your highest round ever, or finishing an Easter egg for the first time, and for me, Black Ops 2 is where I have the most amount of nostalgia. I have so many fond memories of coming home from school, hopping onto Origins or Mob of the Dead, or any other BO2 Zombies maps, and I specifically have a memory of playing Mob of the Dead in my hot bedroom, blasting the song Radioactive all summer long, and it just makes me smile thinking back on it, and it does every time I do. I just want you guys to tell me in the comments, what is your favorite memory of zombies of all time? It can be literally anything, I want to hear it because it'll get you guys to think back upon it, it gets me to think back on it, and it's really cool to see where you guys came from for zombies, and I would just really love to hear it. Overall though, I could have really gone way more in depth with this video, but I wanted to keep it, fairly short and summarized. Obviously there's a lot more things I could have touched on. I could have gone, with every single map one by one, breaking them down, talking about every single minute thing, but I wanted to keep it nice and short and simple. But tell me what you guys think about the whole thing in the comments. I would love to hear it. Like I said, personally, I think Black Ops 2 is better than Black Ops 3. Not saying BO3 is bad by any stretch of the imagination. It really helped out my YouTube channel. I loved playing it. I still do go back and play it, but personally, I just have a lot more love for Black Ops 2, and it's one of my favorite games, if not my favorite game of all time. But with that being said, I'm sorry I took such a long hiatus from uploading. I'll try to upload more, and I'll try to get back into it over the summer more and more leading into Black Ops 4. But yeah, while you guys are down there leaving that comment, I'd appreciate a like on the video. Subscribe if you guys are new around here, turn on notifications. Anyway, I do love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.